you doing? I want to talk about something a little bit different today. This is one of my newer interests. This is something I just got into a couple months ago, and that's comic books. Um, yeah, I just recently started reading these, and I thought maybe we'd have like kind of more like relaxed conversation-ish video as I talk about, sorry, my bad, my journey into reading comic books and where I'm at. Like I said, I'm still very new to this, but it's just like a fun little hangout. So to get into it, I guess I'll talk about the first comic books, I guess, because I've been reading them in volumes, like collections. I haven't really been reading them individually. The first one that I ever got was this Amazing Spider-Man, Marvel Masterworks. This is volume 1. It has the first 9, maybe. 9 feels short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Never mind, yeah. 9. First 9 issues of The Amazing Spider-Man. I guess 10, because it also has Amazing Fantasy 15 in here. This is the original Stan Lee and Steve Ditko Spider-Man books. And that's the first one I ever gotten. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. And I just wanted to get and engage in more Spider-Man media. And I've seen most of the TV shows. I've seen all the movies. And this was like, oh, this is the last thing left to engage in. So I got that. I thought, oh, it's a good starting place. And I've read it. It's pretty good. I mean, obviously you can see the age in it with like the dialogue and stuff. But it's pretty good. I feel like that was a good starting point for me. And, I would not have started any other way. And these Marvel Masterworks things, sorry, I put it on the ground. I gotta pick it back up. They're pretty cool. Like I said, the art's nice. The insides, if you haven't gotten them, I'm sure, they look good. And it's a fun read. It's nice to see Spider-Man's early days in the 616 universe. And, it's a nice thing to engage in. After that, you know what? I'm just going to leave it on the ground. I'll pick it up as I go. After that, what I got, or the next thing I really read, was Ultimate Spider-Man. This is the Jonathan Hickman 2024 Ultimate Spider-Man. Not to be confused with the original Ultimate Spider-Man with Brian Michael Bendis. I own the first volume of that, it's like a newer edition. I'll throw a picture up. I don't have that with me. I own that. I have not read it yet. I heard great things about this, so I picked it up at a comic shop. I was on vacation, actually, and we were just walking around, and there's a comic shop, and I went in, and I picked this up. I actually picked up the first 2 volumes. I've since read 3 out of, I think, 4. The 4th volume is not out yet. That will be the final volume. So I've read the 3 available volumes, and I'm loving it. Ultimate Spider-Man is such a great... The artwork is amazing. Marco Checchetto, I think, is my favorite comic artist that I've seen so far in my very, very limited experience. I love how he draws Spider-Man and all these characters. It's beautiful. I love the story. It's about Peter Parker. He's an adult. He has kids, and he doesn't start being Spider-Man until he's in his 30s. If you haven't read it, it's great. It's about him stopping the mafia. Kind of. It's not really the mafia. Ultimate Universe is kind of complicated. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's really good. And I think if you want to get into comics, that might be a pretty good starting point as well, just in general. I can't recommend Ultimate Spider-Man enough. It's probably one of my favorites that I've ever read. And I guess I'll talk about my actual favorite thing that I've read. And this might come as a little bit surprise. Obviously, I'm a horror fan. I've talked about horror movies multiple times on this channel. So when I saw this at Barnes & Noble, I had to pick it up. This is Predator versus Spider-Man. I think this is my favorite comic that I've read so far. Not even, that might make some people wince, but I had such a fun time with this. Obviously, it's what the title says. It's about the Predator and Spider-Man. I've read this multiple times. I love it so much. It's really gory, actually, or more gory than I expected. Because it's like, oh, it's Spider-Man, then it's going to be pretty tame. They went mature with this. There's some blood, there's some guts. Kraven the Hunter hunts the Predator, with Spider-Man's solving what he thinks is a serial killer case. The ending of this comic book really warmed my heart. It made something in me real happy. I love this. I have not read the other Predator versus Marvel characters comics. I know there's a Black Panther one and maybe a Wolverine one. I have not read those. I don't know if I will. I've mostly read Spider-Man. I pretty much only own Spider-Man because that's, to be honest, that's all I'm really interested in is Spider-Man. We'll get to other stuff that I'm interested in a minute, but it's mostly Spider-Man. But I love that. That was a great book. I don't know if it's necessarily for everybody, but it's kind of like a combination of two things that I love. You know, like horror. I guess Predator isn't completely horror, it's like action horror, but you got the idea. It's like horror and, you know, Spider-Man is a combo. Love it so much. So yeah, if you're kind of like me and love both horror and Marvel, I would definitely recommend it. Okay, this is the last this is the most recent comic I've read. I got this recently, and I've only read the first volume, so I'm not very educated on, you know, the rest of this. So I can't speak for the rest of the series, but at least with this first volume, it was pretty good. And that is, this is the Chip Zdarsky run of Daredevil. This is volume 1. This is the most recent thing I've read, like I said. More artwork by Marco Checchetto. Like I said, he's my favorite artist, so it's nice to see that. Has a really good, I think in the 6th issue, yeah, there's an interaction between Spider-Man and Daredevil, which I really love. It's actually kind of the reason why I picked this up, is because I saw Spider-Man was in it for a little bit. But I'm a pretty big Daredevil fan. He's top 3, maybe top 4 superheroes. I'm not as invested in the superhero genre as I used to be. Now I kind of just keep up with the stuff that I like. So I do like Daredevil. I try to keep up with it. I'm a very casual Daredevil fan. I don't have very much knowledge on the character like how I would on Spider-Man. But, you know, I was very interested. I picked it up. I read it. It's very good. I fully intend on getting more volumes from that series with Chip Zdarsky, sorry, as that one was very good. Very excited to keep reading that. I really enjoyed it. I only own Marvel books. I'm not much of a DC fan. I like Batman is probably the coolest DC character, and I'm not a very big Batman fan. It's all Marvel. I'm very much a Marvel fan compared to everything else. But I do have one non-Marvel book, and I need to get the rest of these. I can't believe, because I've had this for a while. I read this a while ago. I'm a huge fan of this franchise, and I gotta read more of these. I only have the first book. That's Scott Pilgrim. This is Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life. This is only the first one by Brian Lee O'Malley. This is, I'm not sure if this is a comic book or a manga. I'm not entirely sure on the difference, so forgive me for not being educated. But I'm a huge, huge Scott Pilgrim fan. The first video I posted on this channel was about the Scott Pilgrim anime on Netflix. So I love the movie, love the anime. It's actually the only anime I've ever watched in my whole life, because I'm a huge Scott Pilgrim fan. But I guess I'm kind of a fake fan, because I've never read the books besides this first one. I read it, I love it so much. It's just as good as everything else. I need to read the rest. I don't know why I don't own the other, I think there are 8 of them in total. I don't know why I own the other ones, because this was so good. And, you know, I don't know, man. I'm slacking. Like I said, I'm very new to this. I've only been doing this for like a couple months. But I don't know. That's kind of just my journey into it. I'm kind of easing myself in. It's mostly Spider-Man. It's going to stay mostly Spider-Man, to be honest. I really want to read, I think it was called, Spine-Tingling Spider-Man. Because, you know, I was talking about how I love horror and Spider-Man. From what I've read about it, I always try and stay away from stuff about it because I don't want to get spoiled. I know a lot about like the history and stuff, but that was like before I started reading the comics. Sorry, I'm rambling. I guess it was what this video is. But I saw that Spine-Tingling Spider-Man is like a horror Spider-Man put together. And, you know, that sounds right up my alley. So I really want to read that. I got to get my hands on that. Obviously, I really want to read the rest of the Scott Pilgrim books. I'm sure they're all amazing. It's my bad for taking forever to get to the rest of those. And I'm a big Hulk fan. You can see a picture behind me right there. He's probably number 2 behind Spider-Man And I think it's one of the more recent runs of The Incredible Hulk. I don't remember the author or anything like that, but I'm sure I'll put a picture of it right here. I want to read that run. I've heard pretty good things about it. It like fights monsters or other monsters, something like that. It's like the follow-up to Immortal Hulk, if I'm not mistaken. I have a friend who's a big Hulk fan, and he was talking to me about that. It's, you know, I want to get more into it. So, I mean, if you have any recommendations, you can kind of see what I'm interested in by what I was showing off. This isn't everything I own. This is the majority. I don't own a whole lot, but this is a good chunk. I own the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. It's the ones that are written by Todd McFarlane, because obviously he's illustrated more comics, but it's the collection of the ones that he written himself. I have that. I have yet to read it. I gotta get to that because I love that artwork. My bad. It's very good. But yeah, I'm still a very casual comic reader. But if you have any recommendations, feel free to put them down in the comments, and I will check them out. Very likely. I want to, I want to be more indulged. I want to be more educated. It's, yeah. So, favorite characters, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Hulk. I'm a pretty big Deadpool fan. You can't see it because I sit in front of it. I got a Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn bucket right there. That might be a video I do in the future. It's about popcorn buckets. I don't know. I'm rambling. This, like I said, this is more of a casual video. Ease into the new year. This is my first real video of 2026. Big plans. And you know what? If you watched this far, I really appreciate it because there's not very much structure to this video. You're kind of just hanging out. Promise the next one will be a little bit better. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully, it won't take too long for me to post again. Bye.